This is a rear foot elevated split squat, 1.5 for internal and external rotation. So really taking the glute through the full range of motion here. I'm going to show body weight variation as well as a loaded variation. I wouldn't go too heavy on this because it is a 1.5 rep. You're taking that glute through its full range of motion, so it's pretty intense. So get my dumbbell over here just for when I'm ready for it. I'm going to start with that right leg forward, then we can switch to the left. But it'll basically be the same each side. So on that right side, what I'm going to think about doing is being a little bit more of a hingy versus being vertical. So I'm kind of lengthening that booty behind me. As I come down on this right side, I'm going to think about this left knee dropping long, and I'm going to kind of sit into that hip, so kind of getting more of that internal rotation, thinking about lengthening into that right glute. I'm going to come up just about halfway, like that 1.5 rep. I'm going to think about opening the pelvis to the left, and then I'm going to come down, get back into that more internally rotated shape, then come all the way up and open up, okay? So I'm going to come down, think internal rotation, think dropping into this right glute, and then as I come up, I'm pushing through my foot to kind of externally rotate. It's like I'm pushing myself to the left with this right glute, open, and then come down, internal, think about shifting into the hip, and then push out of it, okay? So it's all the way down. We think about shifting into the hip. We come about halfway, we shift out of the hip, really feeling this right glute, back internal rotation, and then back out external rotation. You're really gonna feel this right glute on and firing. If you wanna add load on this right side, I'd probably hold it on the outside, especially when we're really focused on that right glute and getting more of that push off to the left. So holding the dumbbell in my right hand, same thing. As I come down, I'm gonna think about dropping and think about internally rotating this into this right hip. So I'm sitting into that right hip. Exhale, come out. Inhale, back down. And then exhale, think external rotation all the way up. So down, 1.5, so we're coming halfway, push out, sink back in, and then push out. It's gonna look similarly on the left side, except on the left side, if you're holding the weight, you can keep that weight in the right hand. Same hand is holding the weight again, because on that left side, probably a little bit more focus on kind of sinking into the hip. If it feels better to hold it on the outside, you can play around with that as well. So there's no right or wrong in your body. But similarly, I'm gonna think about kind of sitting into this hip, getting that internal rotation, come up about halfway, open, then sink in, and push and open up. So with that glute, we're thinking about that internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation, and then push out external. So you're taking that glute in both directions. It's gonna feel extra spicy.